more followers means more chance of getting a sign up. I don't think it does.
YouTube and email lists are where the money is made.
If you've got 3,000 followers, you've got enough to make a huge business.
Our client results and social proof will put up against anyone.
If my gym got 300 new members, right, within the last 3 months, do you reckon I could sell some personal training packages? Yes. In this video, we are going to talk about why you shouldn't aim to be getting more followers.
Ooh. Hey guys, we're Dan and Mike from Business and Banter, and we're here today to help you with your online fitness business in any way that we can. And today, the way we're going to help you is by encouraging you to not go viral on Instagram. We're going to talk through some theories we have around Instagram, some things that we've noticed from being in the game for a long period of time, working with a lot of coaches, some with a lot of followers, but not a lot of clients, some with a lot of clients and not a lot of followers. And we're going to talk through some of the things we're noticing in people that go viral, how it's destroying their business and their ability to gain clients, and why actually not going viral has proven to be able to build better businesses, longer standing businesses that are far more predictable.
Yeah, we called this ages ago.
We did call it, didn't we? Actually, we should find that video where we literally said it, because we can predict the future. There we go.
Yeah, you shape it.
You know, easy.
So yeah, we called this ages ago. There's a lot of content creators out there that are talking about views and reach and engagement and follow accounts and stuff. And ironically, we track a lot of data with our clients, and none of it is on views and reach and likes and all that stuff, because it doesn't really matter to any real degree. The subject matter of the content matters way more. So, for example, you're not going to get a lot of reach on a client case study that talks about their journey. That's probably not going to get a lot of reach. It's not going to go viral. But it's more important when it comes to selling your services. Because if you're just making viral content for the sake of making viral content that is shareable or whatever, that could be anybody making it. It doesn't necessarily sell coaching. It's just a clever way to make a video go further. Like, it's not that difficult. But we kind of theorize that, just like, for example, there's probably people watching this that maybe have followed a comedy account on Instagram. And when you first find that comedy account and they're a similar type video, right? So let's take somebody like the Four Brothers, if you know who they are, right? When you first find them, you probably watch everything that they do, right? And when it comes up, you make a habit of watching it. And then one day you scroll past it. And then you start the habit of scrolling past it, right? And then the next time you scroll past it, and the next time, because you're out of that habit of watching it. And then you don't watch it as frequent. And because you're not watching it as frequent, you're not sending it to your mate as frequent. So like me and Dan, when we first found them, we probably would send it to one another, whatever. And then you don't share it anymore. So then what happens is that, because they're not, and I'm not saying they're not, because they're obviously doing very well, but I'm using the analogy for you as coaches, right? So what is going to happen to yours is, at the beginning, when people follow, they might watch all of your stuff and they might share it or whatever. But then as time goes by, they'll not watch it as much and they'll share it just that little bit less. And then what's happened is you've got a mass amount of people not watching it and not sharing it. So then Instagram recognizes that as not a useful piece of content. So then it gets pushed less far. So then it doesn't go to non-followers. And actually, you're seeing people with 100, 150, 200, 250,000 followers getting 10,000 reach on a reel. And you go, wow. So let's just say out of 100,000, let's make the maths easy, you're getting 10% reach, right, on a reel. That means on
a reel that before was going further, right?
Yeah.
That's not even like then you try and then sell your coaching.
Yeah, and it's like, not that it works exactly like this, but if you kind of go, well, only 10% of my audience see it, on average then somebody's going to see 1 in every 10 posts that you make, right? On average, right? So if somebody's only seeing 1 out of every 10 posts that you're making, and you're making, say, 7 posts a week, that means they're seeing you once every week and a half. So that's going to be what? It's going to be 3 to 4 times a month that they might be served your content, potentially. And it's not enough. to build any know, like, and trust, it's not enough to show them the things that you need them to see when it comes to coaching. So you need to be making more content that is suitable for your current audience, let alone trying to reach non-followers and trying to grow accounts, right? Which is where most coaches focus. And what they do is they start to put emphasis on non-follower reach, right, and amount of leads, amount of followers coming into the account. And you go, but you're just flooding an account full of people where you don't know whether they're actually interested in coaching, because they're interested in that kind of viral style content. Recipe video, yeah, whatever, right? So then it's like finding a needle in a haystack. Whereas I believe that out of every 10 followers that me and Dan might get, is that a large percentage of them are going to be coaches, for one, and if they're not, we'll remove them. But they'll be interested in using one of our services at some point in time, right? So let's just say me and Dan started, let's just say we're going to make one form of content forever. Let's just say we made the spoof content forever, right? And we didn't post anything else, right? It's probably more likable, probably more shareable, right? And we'd probably get a few more followers in. But would we sell the amount of coaching spaces, one-to-one or members group that we do now if it was just spoof videos, if it was just one type of video, right? No, of course we wouldn't. Might get a bit more engagement, might get a bit more reach, but it wouldn't actually sell our service because we're not actually backing up what we can do. We're not providing evidence of our knowledge, right? So instead you might use something like that, a spoof video occasionally, so that it reaches a little bit further, and that's almost like your hook. But then the thing that sells is the knowledge that you have, or the results that you put out, or the personal branding that you're going to stick into your content to develop know, like, and trust. So by aiming to go viral alone, people think it's going to solve the answers to their problems. And I get it. Logically, you kind of go, well, more followers means more chance of getting a sign up. I don't think it does. I actually don't think it does. I think it means less chance, as bizarre as that is, because all you're doing is you're now making it harder to identify who's actually interested in coaching, and you are reducing the amount of times the people that are interested in coaching are seeing your content. So then you're reducing the likelihood that they'll sign up or they'll reach out. We'll probably talk about what you should do if you're growing an audience to start to identify who's interested. We'll probably cover that in this video. Maybe talk about Rachel and what she did. But make sure that if you're an online coach and you're wanting to sell online coaching services, that you are posting online coach content.
Yeah, and to go back to the four brothers as an example, right? So we both probably kind of like started watching them at the same time and liked their funny skits on Instagram, right? So to show you why they're successful and why coaches aren't with this, right, is that the four brothers then had a YouTube channel, which shows their personality more in depth, shows more about them, shows more of the events that they do, shows more of the community they build, right? So then out of me and Mike, I don't watch their stuff anymore. I still follow them on Instagram, but I don't watch their stuff. I don't watch their YouTube because I'm not into that level of golf. Sounds snobbish, doesn't it?
Yes.
It is, because it is. That's why. I don't find that entertaining because at that level of golf, it's not entertaining. But Mike does watch some of their YouTube videos. So what they've done is they've taken that broader audience on Instagram and filtered them down to YouTube and gone, right, now we've got our main audience, people who will come to events, who will buy our merchandise, who will do this sort of stuff because they've shown their personality, right? So to use their example is they had a plan and a strategy to move people over to a platform where people are more engaged, they do get to know you better, it's longer form, right? But coaches don't do that bit. They completely fuck that bit up. They just do the Instagram stuff, and then by the time they've realized they can't do it, they try and then do a YouTube channel, and it's like the people aren't engaged anymore. Like Mike said, they've just gone. They're not as engaged. They're flicking through your stuff. They don't even remember who you are anymore. So there's an example there of how other people do it to their advantage and do it very, very well. Is that they know they're going to have a broader audience on Instagram. They know there's going to be this broad, wide variety of people who like their comedy and a bit of golf. But when it comes to actually then narrowing it down, they've done that very, very well with YouTube. And it's where we'd recommend coaches do this with an email list and also YouTube as well, by the way. With that, same with us on these views, we get much lower views on YouTube than we ever do on Instagram, right? It's inevitable. Of course that's going to happen because you want the more engaged people. And it's exactly what we used to do in fitness stuff as well with this, is we didn't have a huge following on Instagram, but yet we still had 1,000 subscribers on YouTube quite quickly in the first, I think it was like 8-9 months or something like that, which again is quite quick growth for YouTube, which shows that our audience weren't as broad as other people, but the depth that we created with them, the fact they wanted to watch our stuff and they watched us on multiple different platforms and channels meant that we created better relationships with them, which mean they're more likely to buy from us with coaching. And we're seeing it a lot now as people coming to us and they go, I need your help with the business. I've got 100,000 followers, but I've only got 20 clients. And I'm like, right, well, okay, how are we going to... And when you look at the data, right, and I'm looking at a lot of these people and their story views are stupidly low. Like, I get as many story views as them, and they've got 100,000 people, which means that people aren't seeing them at the top of their little thing, right, on top of their stories. And yes, sometimes there's things you can do to help that, but there's also sometimes you can't. It's too far gone. Like, these people are just completely ignoring you. They're never going to get shown any of your content. They're never going to see it anymore. You didn't look at what you were doing when you did that. You just got addicted to that dopamine hit of followers. And I see it with people, and it is a bit of an addiction to that dopamine hit of more followers. And it's like videos gone viral. And what I'm actively saying to people now is that when you have a video like that does that, the very next post you make is social proof. Don't make another one. Don't make another one and trying to go even more. No. Post something that shows this is what I do. This is my job. I'm really good at it. Because that way you're going to know who's actually interested in you as a coach and who's just there for a funny video, right? So there are strategies that we use now that actually go against the whole idea of going viral, that actually try and stop the flow of followers coming in, which sounds crazy. But I would say I probably spend more time on my phone removing followers than I do worrying about adding them.
Yeah.
I go through and remove people from my followers. I go, they're not going to be interested anymore. So like, even the other day, like, look at, it came up on my feed. I don't know how it came up, but I noticed a lot of people that follow me from back in the fat loss days, right? And it's like, well, some of them can be removed. They're not going to buy from me. They're old blitzers. They don't need to be on my account following me, right? Why wouldn't I remove them? I only want my content to go to online coaches, right? Surely. So it just smacks in the face of what people think is that we're actively removing people when they come in. We're looking at our people coming in going, they have to be an online coach. If they're anything other than an online coach, I remove them off my followers. There's just no need for them to be there, right? A little bit harder for you guys to do if you're working with Gen Pop with that. But this is what we talk about all the time, is that you don't have a strategy for those people once they come in. You don't have a strategy for your content to go, I'm okay with you having some videos that try and get a lot of views. You might do some funny POV, show your personality, show your fun side here. But then I get this kickback from coaches all the time. I don't want to post that case today. It doesn't get very much reach, doesn't get any likes. Yep. But then the amount of times I speak to coaches and the penny drops when they go, I had an inquiry the other day from someone. They said, follow me for years, but yeah, I've never spoke to them, never messaged me, never liked in my posts. I'm like, yeah, you will do. Because they're just watching, aren't they? And I say it to coaches all the time. How much content do you like? How much content do you comment on? How much content do you engage with? Oh yeah, very little. Right. And then you bought from, so for example, me, for example, a lot of people, I've had it before on calls where I go, you can actually see it on Instagram. If you bring up someone's account, you can see the interactions you've had between each other. I've had people sign up for coaching with me and they've followed me for 2 years and liked 6 of my posts. Do you know which 6 they were more often than not? Social proof. When I look back, I go, right, so you've come here and you've not interacted with any of my DMs, right? You've watched my stories all the time, but you've not sent me a message before. You've liked, out of those 6 posts you liked, 4 of them were social proof. And you're telling me that you need to go viral. It's like, just use your brain. Just flip it round. How do you use social media? What do you notice? What do you focus on, right? And when you start thinking about it like that, you realize that what we're saying is 100% true.
Yeah, I think I've had these convos with a few of my clients lately where they're telling me I'm just not growing. I need some more followers and I just don't see how I'm going to sell, my next group or whatever. And I go, right, look at your last 90 days of followers, right? And they'll go, 200. 200. Okay, so as an average then that's 800 new followers a year. Just because it's not gone up by net means that you've maybe dropped 800 for that year. But it still remains you've got 800 new people in your network that, if you're doing your content right, must be moderately interested in your coaching, right? I could easily sell to 800 people. So I encourage you to not necessarily look at the net, but look at your followers that have come in the last 90 days. Have a little look and see what it is, see what that number is. 100, 150, 200, 250, 300. Oh, actually, there's 250, 300 people there that follow me in the last 3 months. Do I think that if my gym got 300 new members, right, within the last 3 months, do you reckon I could sell some personal training packages? Yes. But coaches don't see it like that. Instead, they just want to see a big number at the top for ego or whatever. And it comes back to, we've just done a Black Friday say launch. It wasn't much of a launch. It was about fucking 4 posts. Obviously, we put the price of the members group up, which is now at 149.
149, yeah.
149. Which
well,
is
for the monthly rolling, anyway.
For the monthly rolling, which is a bargain. It's a steal. You can get it for $297 for 3 months. So, you do the maths. It's a month free. So that is,
get involved in that.
Snap your hand off. But we just had 120 new sign-ups within a week. 120. Paying us 99 quid. We had a 12 grand recurring within 1 week. All of those 120 people were there the week prior to them signing up. They weren't magicked out of thin air. We didn't have some magic viral video that went crackers and then we got 120 new signups. No, they were all there. They were waiting. They just hadn't bought yet. And that's it. That's the idea behind social media, is that you are gathering up an amount of people into your audience, onto your platform, that at some stage will buy. Now, for those 120, they needed that urgency of the price to go up, right? And that's fine to use like little things like that, little launches, group coaching launches, price increase stuff, whatever. That's fine. But the fact remains is that within our audience, there were those 120 people that were there ready to buy, and we've not got hundreds of thousands of people. Now, the chances are is you probably don't need 120 new clients. I mean, it'd be great if you got 120 new clients within a week, of course, but the chances are is your business doesn't live and die by 120 new clients sign up next week. So what's the chance that you think that you might have got 10 clients, 20 clients within there, 30 clients in there? Of course you have. That are just there, willing to be nurtured, sold to, lead magnet, build a relationship with. Like, but people seem to think that, okay, I've got 3,000 followers, I've got 20 clients. I need 6,000 to get 40 clients. No. If you've got 3,000 followers, you've got enough to make a huge business. How many has Jeff Foden got? Followers?
4.5, if that.
4,500. What's he doing? 20 odd grand a month?
27.
27 grand a month. Okay. Will and Sam, the Trident lads, Rohan, I think he's got 5,000, 6,000, something like that. He's doing 32 grand a month. Like, you can build a huge business out of a small following. We have. Like, so I've got 12, you've got what? 9?
All right, rub it in.
Embarrassing. Now, what have you got? 9?
Yeah.
I reckon what? We've probably got 12 now. We might have got 16, right? So I reckon we've got 16. Obviously, the 12 and 9 add up to 21. I'm not stupid. But there's going to be some crossover, right? So I reckon we've got maybe 15, 16,000 people. Like, how many people have we got in the business? 700? 800?
Smart, yeah.
500?
210 a month, innit? Okay.
Yeah. 210 grand a month, right? Out of 15,000 followers. That's how you can monetize an audience. And we'll say this till we're blue in the face. It's almost like people don't listen to us. Like, we know how to monetize an audience. So when we tell you to post social proof, when we tell you to do certain things on social media, it's because we know how to sell to an audience. But for some reason, it almost doesn't I feel like it doesn't compute sometimes to people. I feel like it's, oh no, that can't be right. It makes sense to have more followers. No. Because realistically, who are the people that have grown a business by getting more followers in reality, right? And it's probably the people that are selling you the content courses. So of course they're going to have a big business, because if they've grown a big following, you're going to uninformedly...
That's definitely a word.
It's definitely a word. It is now. But you're going to go into that, because they've grown a big business, you're going to go into that feeling like you need more followers because they've got more followers and they've got good business. Well, because they've got good business, because they're selling you how to get more followers. It doesn't necessarily change your business. So for some people... it can do really well. So like we mentioned earlier about, I said we'll probably get onto Rachel. Now, Dan works with Rachel Henley, and obviously knows a lot more than me, so he'll probably carry on this point. But she grew an email list alongside growing an audience. Now, what she's done whilst growing an audience is not only being herself and spoken directly to a niche, beginners, females, with her kind of sense of humour, etc., bluntness, call to actions on every fucking post. You go to Rachel Henley's page, there's a call to action to a freebie, like on every single fucking post. I could pick any post of hers and there's a call to action on it, right? And she's grown an email list. So when you talk about finding a needle in a haystack, right? And let's just say Rachel's at what, 800,000 followers, something like that. And if she hadn't have found an email, started an email list, it might be difficult to then find who's interested in one-to-one coaching, because you put applications out of 800,000 people. You are going to be inundated with applications. You really, really are going to be inundated with applications, most of which are going to be guff, right? Garbage. So then it becomes really difficult to sell to those people, because A, you probably don't want to be going on to sales calls with the volume of people out of 800,000, right? And wasting your time because there's not enough time in the day. And B, somebody that's signing up that through a VSL or something like that, or just a payment link, again, they're not necessarily guaranteed to be the best type of client or best type of fit. So what she did is she grew an email list alongside it, which is north of 100,000 people on that email list, which directly pulls out the needles in the haystack and pulls them across onto an email list. So they definitely see her content and that she's not a prey to an algorithm or whatever. So then she can then sell to the email list, knowing that they're her warmer leads. So then when she opens up spaces and she's running her launches for her groups or whatever, she will sell 400 spaces or whatever number that she does. And that's how it's done, rather than just blindly going viral for viral's sake. Rachel could have had half the amount of followers that she's got now and still made a huge business. And I understand that half of 800,000 is still a lot of people. But at the same time, we bring up Jeff, we bring up Rowan, we could bring up fucking X amount of other people that have got small audiences, that have grown big businesses. It's not predetermined by that number at the top of the page as to who's more successful or not. Some of my people who are struggling to get clients in have got more followers. Mm-hmm. So why is it the aim to get more followers? The aim should be to get more clients.
The one thing across the board that you know is true about those that have got a bigger business is they connect with people. It's nothing to do with the follower count. It's to do with how well they can connect to people and how well they can get them to sign up for a free thing, join a group program, message them a word and DM them, whatever it could be, right? That's the reality. That's the key thing that's needed. Is it's the ability to connect to people. Throughout that. And interestingly, the other thing I want to come back to as well, just because in my head, I don't want to forget it, is what you said about when we did the members group push and we got 120 people signed up, right? Imagine if me and Mike, every time we did a CTA for members group, like in the last 6 months, went, no one's coming in. I fucking can't stand that. You know, when someone goes, I did a CTA, but no one reached out.
Yeah, innit?
Right. Well, we just done that for the members group. So those 120 people, so what? They never saw any of the CTAs we did. They didn't see any of the other CTAs we did about the members group for the last 6 months. They didn't see any of them. They didn't notice any of them. It's only this post we made about it this week that they saw. Or do you think that through those CTAs, more and more, they thought, I probably should try that. Think about that. Or think about that. So when you say, no one really came off that CTA, you really need to realize how stupid you sound when you say that, based on what we've just said, right? Doesn't mean anything. You do the CTAs because it's the right thing to do because it moves people along to go, I know they do the group. Actually, I might join that in January. I might join that in March. Oh, they've just done an offer out, which is a bit of urgency and save me some money. I'll do it now then, right? That's what you do this for. That's why you do it. And nothing winds me more than, no one came in off the back of that. So, shut the fuck up. That's not the fucking point, is it? People don't reach out all the time off the back of one CTA. They just see your stuff enough over time to do it. So that's one thing to bring up on that is that, we're living proof that, you can put out CTAs all the time and people still don't sign up. Like, do you think that doesn't happen to us? Do you think that what we put a CTA out and no one signs up? Yeah, it's going to happen, isn't it? All the time. Rachel does it. Rachel has that same thing. And interesting, even she's noticed recently on Instagram, her views are down a little bit. Maybe it's a little bit of fatigue of the same type of content, all this sort of stuff, right? And I don't think her followers have gone up huge amounts, but she's definitely, net, they're not going up. But I think that's probably the thing that we said is people see her stuff and go, I don't really follow us, don't really like her stuff anymore. She's getting new people in, but the old people are going. So the numbers are around the same, but the email list is still growing. But the group program's still growing. But the one-to-ones are still growing. Because of the way that it's done, where there's a system whereby we're not going after a total number, it's getting people into the system, which is the email list, and it's the back end. Don't laugh at that. It's all about the back end. But coaches don't do that. Every single coach that I work with that's gone viral, that's just focused on followers, has nothing sorted for that system, for the back end. They have nothing sorted. They think going viral is going to solve the problem, and it makes it worse. To the point where I've got clients who are on 30, 40, 80,000 followers, and I'm like, you should probably start a new account. Because you can't reach these people. They're not interested in anything you have to offer. They're not bothered. You can't re-engage them again. It's too far gone. And we sit here, I think it was about 2 years ago, we sat here saying this is going to happen.
Yeah.
We sat there saying it's obviously going to happen. I got sent a video of a guy the other day who was reacting. He was doing a recipe video, reacting to a recipe video of someone reacting to a recipe video. I joked, like I put it up as sarcasm saying, 2026 is the year that, don't worry about it, guys. We're going to start getting a reaction to a reaction to a reaction. And someone sent it to me and went, no, we're already there. I actually couldn't believe what I was seeing. It's a guy obviously doing recipe videos. I think he's going to 500,000 followers. And it's just like, fuck me. Just reacting to recipe videos now. Not even making your own these days. And it's just like, that is not going to build the business you want.
No.
in the short term, it feels good. In the short term, the dopamine's there and you get that hit. I can't tell you how bad of an idea it is to do it in this day and age. It's killing accounts. And we've said it, like I said it years ago, and we'll keep saying it. YouTube and email lists are where the money is made. Every single person that I know that's doing well is focused on those two.
Yeah, like, I don't know. People just don't listen. But again,
they won't listen to us again. Like, they won't listen to us.
Again,
we sit here going, well, yeah, but what do we know with a business that just, again, that's now on 210K a month recurring? What do we know? Retiring in 2 years. What do we know? Yeah, what do we know? And do you know what? And I said this to you this week. I was like, I think we're going to get more people ask us to help them or do work with them once we've finished and retired. Because they're going to realise that we're not bullshitting, we're not joking. It's like, no, we're actually fucking doing it. Like, what we're saying is actually right. Like, our client results and social proof will put up against anyone. Again, based on followers as well, based on that sort of stuff. No, they're just across the board, the best results. Like, you got 2 years until we're fucking off. I don't know what it's going to take people to listen to it, to when you see it. Like, all our clients coming in, the followers they've got, and we're seeing it time and time and time again. Like, anyway, probably send sort of a rant if we carry on talking, but like, so what should we do then? Instead of going viral, what should we do with our social media content, right? Rather than us just ranting and telling you what not to do, right? I personally think that there needs to be a lot of variety within your content. I think this is what kills people's accounts, is that they just focus on one type of video, one type alone. They become known for it, they do it, and then they go viral, right? Well done, great. So if we're talking about different types of content, Mike's going to talk in a minute about, I think we've done it before, about the you, me, and them kind of style stuff, but I like to see on someone's page, if I look at 9 or 10 posts, right, on a page, there's a snapshot of a page, I don't like to see the same type of content posted one after the other. I think you need to vary it. There should be social proof. There should be some personal posts. There should be some content that gives tips and help and advice. There should be case studies. There should be POV style, generational, kind of like humorous or personality driven, or stuff that's not necessarily always associated with giving out tips from a fitness point of view. I think there should be then CTAs and pushing people towards longer form content. And clips from your longer form content on there as well. There's just a wide variety of stuff. Carousels work quite well, again, giving out tips and advice, stuff like that. I'd like to see that sort of variety of content that's planned out, that's thought about, that has a good hook, that has a good CTA, has some substance to it. I just don't see it. I really just don't see it enough across the board. Don't know what else you would suggest on there, but that sort of variety is what I like to see from people. I like to see you're actually a coach and you actually know what you're talking about.
Yeah, I usually break it down into 3 categories. I've spoken about this a few times. Go into more detail on one of the calls in the members group. Links in the description. You, me, and them. I break it down into 3 genres. Easy. You. Something for you. I'm giving you something for my audience. There you go. I have that. So it's, here's how to improve your client retention. Why you shouldn't call DM if we were saying it to you, right? You're garnering some kind of value from our content by what we're saying. Me content, so all about me. It's got nothing to do, with you. You might derive a little bit of value out of it, but essentially it's me. So, as an online coach, it could be a day in my life, week in my life, my training session, my update for Instagram, my journey, fucking.
Here's how I built my business.
Full day of eating, whatever.
3 things I do in my business that every day.
Right. So it's very, very personally branded, right? So you can show, your own physique update, right? It doesn't really, give any value, but you can talk about what you're doing. And so on and so forth. And then them content. So my social proof. So before and afters, client case studies, video testimonials, that kind of thing, right? So you've got you, me, and them. So something for you that says what niche, I'm targeting and what kind of content that they're going to consume. Me, my personal brand. Them, the evidence that I can do my job, right? Social proof. If you do 2 pieces of each of those content per week, that's obviously 6. And you've got a good blend, good maths. And you've got a good blend there as your base, as your minimum. And then any more on top is fine, because you've always got 2 bits of social proof. You've always got 2 bits of personal branding. You've always got 2 bits of niche stuff. And it's the niche stuff that people struggle with, I think. I think they struggle with all of it, to be honest, because they don't want to put out social proof because it doesn't get any reach. They don't want to put out me stuff because they're not actually doing anything. They're not actually working towards anything.
They're not training themselves.
But it's the you stuff that's really winding me up at the moment. Like, because every time I see people post content to their audience, it's about getting started now. Just get started now. Stop having an all or nothing attitude. It's just the wrong diet for you. Get started now. Be consistent. Where's the actual actionable stuff that people can go and take away from it? So like, and I could list off tons of things from my old niche and go,
here's how rest pause training is going to blow up your quads.
Yeah, like even just what's the back offset? How to know whether you're training close to failure? Why getting a pump's ruining your gains? How long before training should you drink caffeine? Like, why having a monster around the gym's fucking useless? Like, I could keep going. When to use blood flow restriction training? How much damage does a cheat day do? Can you really diet on too low calories? What's your metabolism made up of? Like,
it's like going back in time. This,
like, but it's so easy. Yeah. It's so easy. So I just don't sit. So I'm like, and when you start to talk about things in your content that are all opinion based, by the way, because, for example, everything that we talk about is an opinion. So when we say, here's why you shouldn't call DM as a coach, that's an opinion. When we say, here's why you should be using Google Sheets, that's an opinion. When we say, here's how you should do your video check-ins, it's our opinion. But it's our opinion based off of what we believe in, right? I want to see what you believe in. When do you use a rest pause? What's your specific approach to training? How do you progress your clients? What do you do with your clients on a weekend for socials? How do you reverse diet them? What specific protocol do you have? How do you teach them how to remove tracking? When do you use hybrid meal plan macro based? How do you use a calorie range? I don't see any of this in anyone's fucking content.
No, just be consistent, guys. Come on.
I can't, but it's just annoying because I look back and I look at all my clients' content and I go, it's always about. So you're in pain with where you're at. It's always a pain point. You're in pain with where you're at, and if you'd have just got started, you're always just trying to sell. Establish a knowledge gap between you and your audience so that they believe that you know something that they don't know. Because I don't see enough coaches actually giving any actionable advice that's doing anything to set them as an authority, and then they wonder why they get in the lowest common denominator client that just wants fat loss that drops off after 2 months because they've got no idea what's involved, no expectations about what coaching is. There's no authority built up with the coach, but because you've said that you can get in shape by just starting now and you need the plan that works for you and you shouldn't give up the foods that you love, that will get in the low. You will get flaky clients. You are going to keep moaning that your clients are flaky, that they're dropping off, if that's the content that you're putting out. But I tell you what, talk about drop sets, rest pause, aggressive dieting, what a diet break's used for, like how to reverse diet, what's the rate of weight gain during an off-season muscle gain phase, right? How to bring up weak body parts. You do enough of that, who do you think comes in? People expecting to do those things. It's that fucking simple, right? It's that simple. Yet we're seeing reactions to reactions to reactions to reactions to reactions on a fucking wank recipe, on a high protein fucking whatever, like air fryer fucking. That doesn't sell fucking coaching. You guys as coaches now, right? Who would you pick to be coached by, physique-wise? And I bet you they don't make that style content. I bet you.
I bet you a lot of money, actually.
I bet you a lot of money. And then you go, who would you sign up with? Or who's your current coach, right? And look at their content and go, why did you pick them? And I bet you go, well, because they've got loads of good results. They're really knowledgeable.
Yeah, they know their stuff. Yeah.
They know their stuff. So what are you doing?
Yeah.
Like, what are you doing?
If you want a muscle gain, probably should come to me. It's probably
I thought so.
Part of it. I mean, and again, it's everything that we built everything in our business off, right? Is it's talking about this stuff, being authority, learning as you go, right? Sharing that knowledge. Like you just said there, you couldn't say it any better, unfortunately, when you say like that. Is that I ask coaches all the time, who do you work with? Who's your coach? It's never someone with 500,000 followers. It's never, ever someone with 500,000 followers. Ever. It's always someone that they go, really knowledgeable. Usually as well, I'm going to say this now, they usually have a YouTube channel. They usually get their emails. They might have bought something off them before that's something a bit smaller, right? All these things. And I just sit there smiling at them like, yeah. And you just want to go viral, yeah? Honest to God. Think about who you buy from when you talk about nutrition, you talk about training, you talk about all these sorts of things, right? That is the best way to approach it. Who's your coach right now? Why did you sign up with them? How long did you follow them for? What sort of content do they make that you actually like? How much of it do you ever actually comment on? Do you actually hit like on? And you'll soon realize that actually what we're saying is the right thing. On that bombshell, we'll leave it there because it's been a long one. But that's the thing you need to take from this. Anyway, get in a members group if you want. Come and join us.
3 CCAs in that.
There you go.
But no one took action.
No one signed up.